Hello, Dr. Ray.
Hi, Dr. Ray. How are you?
I'm sure I'm going to get really good advice from you.
Well, I don't know about that.
You're right on track with this. You're right on track.
My idea, my theory, my guidance is a bit of a stretch.
Everybody make a mistake.
Does that comfort you?
No.
Am I close?
No.
You are so wrong.
You're so wonderful.
Why do I have to be the insightful professional?
Someone intelligent on radio. Yay!
Did I make you feel a lot better or what?
No, you made me feel worse.
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica, here's Dr. Ray.
My daughter just had a baby. I didn't want to rain on her parade, to use a cliche, but she's reading these baby books, and all the baby books tell you that infants need to eat about every 2 to 3 hours. But what they fail to tell you is that this behavior continues until the child turns 18 or so and moves out of your house. Yeah, that's it. I said, get prepared. Eating every 2 to 3 hours, especially a boy. Thank you for joining me here on The Doctor Is In. Dr. Ray Guarendi. Program is call-in program. You are my guests. I get many query letters, emails, etc., from publicists or HR people who say, I've got a great guest for you. And I don't doubt that they would be a great guest, some of them. I'd be fascinated to have them. But I'm more fascinated to have you as my guests. You make the show. Questions about circumstances in your life, situations, people. I'm a psychologist. What I have to offer you is not therapy or diagnosis. What I have to offer you is many decades of experience about situations that may be similar to your own in some respects, and I've had a chance to see how a lot of them turn out. So we speculate a little bit about what could happen, maybe give you a little more information into the hopper. What is a hopper anyway? Is that kind of like something that you mix cement with? A cement hopper, or is it a big barrel that rotates and moves and mixes stuff up? I'll have to look that up. Andrew will look that up. Number to do all this is 877-573-7825. 877-57-EQUAL. I know I said the number pretty fast. Because people say that. You say the number too fast. Can't call in. Okay. 87. Well, you're getting the idea. Now, that said, you can also call in for other reasons. Call in with a generic question about something you don't understand about psychology, intellect, emotions, a diagnosis, therapy. You can call in to help somebody else out. People do that a lot. They'll say, yeah, I had a similar situation. And Dr. Ray, let me give you some information about this. And I read between the lines, and the implication is, Dr. Ray, you missed it. You just missed it. So I'm here to pick up the pieces. And sometimes people come in just because they have an insight about something in life that they've learned. They want to share it. I have a vast listening audience. Last we checked, we run the numbers. And it is closing in on 140 people. Yeah. Now, none of those people happen to be my relatives, friends, or children. My wife does listen. I know this because when I go home, she says, I can't believe you said that. I said, what, honey? Raymond. 877-573-7825. One of the things that has become more and more apparent to me as I get older and live my life, and I try to understand the way God wants me to live my life, is that so many things that God does, that God wishes us to do, that God tells us to do, is not only different from the way that the world does it, particularly our culture, but it's completely on its head. It's reversed. We absolutely adore celebrities. We give them status that's unbelievable. God says the poor, the ones that nobody would pay much attention to, that those are the most valuable. Whoa, wait a minute. We chase money. He says, no, you give it away. You give it away. That's what you're supposed to do. You have enough for your needs, and then that's it. Well, that's upside down. Really, really upside down. I'll show you an example that struck me the more I think about it. In The Passion, put together by Mel Gibson, there's a scene where Jesus falls. I think he was a little boy. His mother, like all good mothers, comes running to comfort him, make sure he's okay. And he says, you see, Mother, I make all things new. Jesus said something that would absolutely have shocked his followers. And the impact of it is lost on us because it's so far away and we don't have anything in our society that resembles what he's asking us to do. When he says, take up your cross and follow me. Now, the cross at that time was a Roman torture device. And it was a torture device that was absolutely exquisite in its ability to terrorize, torment, and create pain. It was, I think I can completely underestimate how anybody would react viscerally to the idea of being crucified. Beyond comprehension. The pain could simply not be understood. Now, at that time, the cross was a symbol of horrific. It was awful. Awful. Look what God did. He took a symbol that one could make the case was the most vile, awful image of the time. The instrument that the Romans used to torture you to death in undescribable pain. And what now hangs in our houses, in our churches, on our rosaries? A cross. God took the most vile torture image of Jesus' time and completely reversed its meaning. Beyond comprehension, reversed its meaning. It is now the symbol of redemption. It is now the symbol of salvation. It is now the symbol of infinite life. And that's just like God. He takes something that the world has defined as the absolute worst. And he uses it to say, this is the image that I leave with you that speaks so clearly about what I did for you. And if you follow it, you'll have a reward that's indescribable. From vile to infinite positive. The cross. We're far from it, so I don't think we really can wrap our head around how it was viewed at the time. I know how it's viewed now by people who believe in it, but it wasn't then. In the words of my 7-year-old son when we answered his questions with God designed it that way or God knew that's the way it was going to work, he said, that God, he's a pretty smart guy, isn't he? 877-573-7825. Got some questions up there. I'm going to get to you. Please give a call. Love to talk to you.
On Thursday, April 30th at 6 p.m., join Family Like Services for their Night for Life Gala, an elegant evening celebrating women and the gift of life at Weber's Hotel and Restaurant in Ann Arbor. Hear Pam Doherty, who after an abortion at 17 now leads Save the Storks mobile ministry, bringing care and hope to women in need. Tickets are on sale now. Reserve your seats at AveMariaRadio.net/events. Don't miss this inspiring night for life.
Step away from the noise and return to what truly matters at Maryville Retreat Center in Holly. From retreats for married couples and those discerning their vocation, to directed silent retreats and evening prayer services, even exploring scripture through art, Maryville offers sacred space to rest, pray, and renew your spirit individually or as a family. Visit their website at maryvilleretreatcenter.org or call 248-634-5566.
Underwritten in part by the following nonprofit.
Do you feel as though life is flying past you? Are you desperate for a way to find moments of peace and quiet? Lord, Teach Me to Pray, the free Ignatian prayer series, will open your heart to His voice, to the peace you are seeking and the only love that fulfills the human heart, Jesus. God is calling you to true joy, knowing Jesus personally. Lord, Teach Me to Pray is free. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com, click on the red box, order the Lord Teach Me to Pray series now. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com.
This program is brought to you by the following nonprofit underwriter.
Join Catholics at the Shore 2026, May 7th through the 9th at the beautiful Icona in Avalon, New Jersey. This year's theme, Needing Nothing More, invites you to step away from the noise and encounter Christ. Speakers include Patricia Heaton, UFC champion Bas Rutten, and pro-life activist Christian Hawkins, along with other powerful Catholic voices. To learn more, go to CatholicsAtTheShore.com.
I would do anything to regain my youth. Anything. Well, except exercise. Get up early or eat better. Words of Oscar Wilde. I'm Dr. Ray. Let's go straight to you. Bernadette, which is basically meaning getting rid of the final payment of your house mortgage. So one thing you do. Bernadette. Hi, Bernadette.
Hi, Dr. Ray. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, this reminds me of the prodigal son, where the brother goes and says, "Hey, Dad, I want some of your inheritance here."
That crossed my mind, too.
He wants to meet with his parents about giving them investment advice.
Yes, and he wants so just a little quick details. They have my parents-in-law have their money sitting in a savings account. They're in their early 70s, and the plan is when they pass on to split the money three ways, my husband and his two sisters. My husband's opinion is all the money should go to him because he's the oldest boy.
Oh,
because his sisters are wealthy.
Oh my gosh! So he's in essence saying, "I don't want my sisters to ever talk to me again."
He'd be okay with that. Probably if it's Irish,
Oh. Is he going to tell his parents that when he meets with them?
Oh, he already told his mom, actually, just in a private conversation. And she didn't sound thrilled, but she didn't, resist either. She just said, okay.
Maybe she's thinking, well, I'll be gone and I won't have to worry about you being mad at me when I didn't do what you said.
Maybe.
Ooh. Oh, have you told your husband? I don't think that's such a good idea.
Yeah, so yesterday he said he wanted to meet with his parents, the four of us, and tell them that instead of letting their money sit in a savings account where it won't increase in value, they should invest it. That way, when we inherit it, it'll have gone up in value. I told him I don't think that's a good idea. I'm an in-law, and we don't really, his parents are not practicing Catholics, so I don't want to tempt them to bitterness or resentment.
Is your husband a practicing Catholic?
Yeah, just getting deeper into his faith recently.
Well, I hope as he gets deeper into it, he realizes this is not too smart.
Yeah. Okay, I was uneasy about it too, but I just wanted to get your thoughts.
Well, on one hand, Bernadette, on one hand, he's smart in telling the parents, at the very least, let's put it into a money market that is liquid and gets 4.2% rather than a savings account that gets 0.1% interest. So, yes, he can tell them, Mom, Dad, your money is not keeping up with inflation and it's getting less and less worth it. If it were me, and if you have any influence over him, I would say to him, leave out the part where you want to have more money to leave to us. Is he willing to do that? Wait a minute. What are you telling your mom and dad here? I'm worried about you. I want you to invest your money wisely so I have more.
Yeah, I don't he doesn't seem to hear how bad it will sound.
Ooh.
And when you're confronting your parents with the idea of death in a way, and then just telling them what to do with their money, I don't think he hears how in poor taste that sounds.
Can you convince him?
I don't know. I think he feels pretty strongly about that he should inherit everything.
Wow.
But can I at least convince him that I don't want to be present for the conversation? I mean, that would be pretty
You
bad,
don't have to
right?
convince him. You can say, I'm not going to be.
Okay.
You can do that. I mean, he might get mad at you. And you can tell him why. You can say, look, I don't want you to tell our parents that you want them to put their money in a more interest-bearing account so you have more. Put it in terms of so that they have more.
Okay.
Because he can't know. How old are his parents?
I think 72-ish.
Okay. He can't know. They could live another 20 years. And they could need that money for assisted living or for nursing home. So it's not a matter of, gee, you're gonna live healthy and then die in your sleep, and then I'm gonna get all your money. You have no idea what the future holds. You can tell him that. I'm sure he's thought of it. But the other thing is if he approaches it from the perspective of the future is still there for you, Mom and Dad, and I want you to have as much money as you can have to give you support if you need it. And the idea that it's in a savings account is the absolute worst place to put it. Even if it's just, as I said, a money market, a liquid money market account that gets you. I have a lot of mine in a money market account that's paying 5%. Okay, so at least I get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not doesn't keep up with gee, Ray, think of the word here. Stock market, it doesn't. Stock market averages about 8% over time. But at the same time, he can make a great case. But I will say this, if he says, I think I should be the one to get it all because I'm the oldest, and if for any reason that gets back to his sisters, well, Bernadette, I can't predict what's going to happen. But oh boy.
Thanks, Dr. Ray. That's helpful.
Okay, honey. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Bye, honey. Oh, man. I've seen so many families fracture because of inheritance issues. Oh, gosh. And oftentimes it's because one of the surviving siblings thinks I should get more, or I got ripped off, or I was the one who took care of Mom and Dad and you never showed up and you're getting just as much as I am. Oh, my. Let's go to Stacy. Stacy is hoping to have a better relationship with her adult son, and of course this is now one of the most common reasons that people come to me for therapy. It's one of the most common questions we get, and it is a phenomenon that is absolutely everywhere. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Dr. Ray. How are you?
Okay. Yourself?
Good. I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to figure this out. So, as a young boy, my son's dad was a meth addict, and he didn't have I kept him as safe as I could because of the situation that I was in, and I finally had to leave him because it got dangerous. And then I left him, got remarried to a wonderful man that and then we became Catholic because of that Cinnamon Toast Crunch Latte. And we became Catholic, and I just love our faith. And then my son in high school got involved with pornography and smoking marijuana, and he had a child out of wedlock, and they have now gotten married, and I've co-signed a house for them and everything.
Stacy.
Oh yes. And I knew it. And the reason why I co-signed for it, I'll never forget the conversation. He's like, "But this is the house that Cameron really wants." And I'm like, "Okay, well, anyway, we did that." And as soon as we did that, she has made it to where everything in his childhood was horrible. We're horrible parents. We cannot be alone with him. I've never even been able to change my grand's diaper. Like, I can't watch him. I can't be around him because I was such a horrible parent to my son. And it's just devastating to me that my son won't even say, well, wait a minute, I'm a pretty good, because I want to look at her and say, look, why is he the person that he is today and the man that you love is because of how he was raised. It wasn't because of, So anyway, I just am struggling with all this.
How old's your son, Stacy?
He is 32.
She made it so that I would rather your parents not be in our lives at all.
No, because he calls and says, I want to be, and he does do his best to come and see us, I think. I mean, because he's got his own fight at home. He's got his own fight that he has to fight. And, she will allow him to bring our grandson to some family things, and she won't come with her daughter that she had previously.
Generally, she doesn't come with him when he comes to see you.
Prior to co-signing on the house and them getting married, yes. She would come and she would do things and all that, and everything was fine. But, yeah, ever since all this. And he also says to us that she refuses to say that she's sorry to him, or she will refuse to acknowledge anything. Because we're like, let's just talk about this. Can we just sit down and have a conversation? And he's like, Mom, you can't do that because she can't, And so
he's starting to realize what he married.
Right. Mm-hmm. And he gets that. And, he doesn't go to church. And I've told him, I'm like, I don't know how many times. We have a really good friend that's a priest that he used to say he's so wise. I'm like, why don't you call him? But I feel like he's so ashamed of his sin and so down on himself that he doesn't feel like he's worthy of God's forgiveness. This is my thought. I mean, it might not be true. But anyway, so I just wanted to call and get some wise advice, hopefully.
Well, you called the wrong show, if you want to call it.
Oh, okay, yeah, probably.
I mean, you're going to get some okay advice, maybe, if I stretch it. I think you already have the connection, Stacy. That's why I asked. It sounds like your son hasn't totally gone with his wife's desire, which is get your mother out of our lives. He hasn't done that. So God bless him for that. And I think that reflects on the way you raised him. He still has some loyalty to his mom, and that's beautiful. So that's the one thing in your favor. Secondly, I would avoid any kind of questioning her or talking her down. When he expresses his frustration, I would just fall back on what do you want to do about it, as opposed to saying, well, here's what I think you should do about it. What do you want to do about it? And he may sting up. I think I need to talk to that priest. All right, you want to contact him, or do you want me to? Always back on him. Always back on him. I find it fascinating that she liked you. Don't go away. That music says, Raymond, shut up. So stay there, Stacy, and come around on the other side and just close it up. So don't leave me. 877-573-7825, 877-57-EQUAL. That is the number to call to get onto the program. I want to hear from you. Barely the bottom of the hour, so we got plenty of time. In the words of Mark Twain, the older I get, the more clearly I remember things that never happened. Dr. Ray Guarendi here, program Doctor is in. Matthew, I think I got a conversation coming in from one of those other feeds. Just So that wouldn't be a problem, except I was answering that conversation. Those people were talking from some other station or some other affiliate, so I was doing too. I'm talking to Stacy here because she's the one who called, so she's in my headsets. But whoever that is, tell them I'll be right with them. Okay. Stacy, you still there?
Here.
Okay.
I'm still here.
Atta girl. Now, let me just kind of summarize here quickly in case somebody wasn't listening when they should have been listening. Your son was a problem. You came back to the faith when he was in middle school, but he was a problem. He got into a lot of bad things. And your initial relationship was with a meth addict who you had to break off because it was dangerous. You co-signed for his house loan. Oh, Stacy. You co-signed for his house loan. He had a child out of wedlock. His girlfriend, they're now married, so he took that step. I'm going to assume he didn't get married in a Catholic church, right, Stacy?
No. No.
Yeah, I figured that's just part of the picture here. All right. That said, since then, since the marriage and since the cosign, she's decided you, at best, can be a minimal presence in their lives. And that includes having any kind of unsupervised relationship with their child. Also, he still keeps some kind of connection with you, although it's not a conjoint connection because she won't come over. She doesn't want to be around you. She just decided you screwed up his life, etc. Although, like you said earlier, well, you loved him enough to marry him, so he can't be that screwed up by us. But that aside, you can't expect people with these kinds of emotional resistances to be rational too. Now, what do you do about it? As I said, you've still got this connection with him. I wouldn't put her down. When he expresses his frustration, and I got a feeling, Stacy, you're going to hear more frustration from him. Because if, in fact, she's that difficult toward you, she's probably also difficult to live with. And I noticed that.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead, dear.
And I've mentioned that to him, too. I'm like, I can't imagine what she's like to live with. If she's that way with us, I can't imagine what it's like in your own home.
And he probably just very quietly doesn't say anything.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because he didn't want to admit it. He's not going to say, oh, Mom, she's wonderful. No, you got it all wrong, Mom. No, he knows. All right. But I would watch saying stuff like that, okay? I wouldn't say it anymore. He knows what he's gone through. When he gets frustrated and says things, as I said before the break, ask him, what do you want to do about it? What do you want to do about it? Now, one final point I wanted to make, and this is, I think, part of why I carried you over. You said she was pleasant and nice with us before we co-signed for the house and before they got married, when they were just boyfriend-girlfriend. Now, Stacy, I can't know this, but I would just speculate that she wanted to be on good terms with you until she got what she thought she wanted.
Correct.
And then she could say, okay, I got my house loan, I got my hubby, I don't really have to work hard to treat them nice anymore. That'd be my guess. It sounds like that was your guess too.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I would suggest, my dear. Just keep out that relationship with your son, and don't try to force anything from her. And if anything, you can tell him, Jesh, I sure would like to see your little one a lot more. I miss him an awful lot. Okay, don't say, I don't understand why she won't let us. Yeah, because then you're going to put him in a spot where he's got to try to middle ground it with Mom and the wife, and he's got to live with the wife. All right, okay. Stacey. Thank you, dear.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye. Well, she said thank you for the call. I didn't call. Andrew, did you call Stacy? I didn't call Stacy. Maybe she meant thank you for taking my call. Yeah, good point. I got to read that. All right, I'm going to get interrupted by the break if I go talk to Hilda, but I'm going to talk to Hilda anyway. Hi, Hilda.
Hi, Dr. Ray. This is Hilda. I am calling you with my question or request for help, actually. The guys at the receiving end probably told you a little bit. I'm your big fan anyway, so...
You know what I hate, Hilda? I hate when somebody says they're a big fan, because that puts the pressure on me to say something wise as opposed to just trying to muddle my way through an answer. And then I'm afraid that my big fan is only going to become like a sort of fan after they actually talk to me.
No, I'm your big fan. I've been listening to you for years, and I've been to one of your talks, so you probably don't remember me in Colorado, but that's okay. Anyways, so I have a hard time with my daughter because she's moving to Ohio, and I've been, sorry if I cry. I've been helping them for 3 years, doing everything for them, cooking, taking care of the kids, and cleaning and doing laundry, shopping for them. And they just moved to Ohio. That's where her husband is from. And he found a job supposedly there. And so I have a hard time with everything. So if you can give me some advices, or that's all I'm calling about.
Sure, Hilda. Let's see how you're looking at this. On one hand, you're saying... do you have a radio on, honey? You're going to have to turn that off.
No, I don't have the radio on actually. I have it off, but I'm in the car.
Okay, you're on speaker?
Yes, I'm on speaker.
Can you get on your own phone, because the speaker's bouncing back? I'm hearing myself twice. So if I say something dumb, it's going to be twice as dumb.
Off.
There you go. Gotcha. Okay, now, there's two things I think that are playing upon you. One is that you were very much a part of their life. You helped them. You enjoyed it. It made you feel useful, very much so. That's one. The other part is you feel a little bit, I'm going to use the word betrayed. Maybe that's too strong.
That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly what I said to my daughter.
And you're kind of saying, after all I've done to be part of your lives, you guys just go, see ya. We're moving on. Thanks for everything. Take care.
That's right. That's exactly how I feel. How do you know, Dr. Ray? You're so smart.
I see that, Eric, Andrew.
Yeah.
Flag that. How do you know, Dr. Ray? You're so smart. Flag that for a future bumper. Okay, stay right there, honey. I knew that I was going to get interrupted by the break, so stay right there. When I come back, we'll talk a little further. Still got time. 877-573-7825. Got some lines open. 877-57-EQUAL. That's the number to call. Would love to hear from you. Getting very computer sophisticated, because when I look at the whiteboard here with the calls on it, after a while, if you don't move the mouse, the whiteboard fades. It just goes to black. And I have learned that you just move the mouse a little bit, just shake it a little bit, and it comes back. Only took me 9 years to realize that. Now, I'm talking to Hilda, this dear sweet lady, for years. Was part of her daughter and her husband's life, along with the grandkids. She cooked, cleaned, took them places, did all kinds of things for them. And I'm going to assume that they appreciated that. They very much used it, right, Hilda? They allowed you to do all this.
Yes, that's right. I think so. I would think so.
Did they live with you?
No, they live in their own house. I was driving every day, half hour to get to their house and then go home back at night.
Okay. How many years did you do that?
For 3.5, roughly, something like that, years.
Now, you said something, my psyche senses. You said, you recall saying it? You said, they're moving to Ohio because he has and you used the word supposed job. Does that mean you're not real sure that he has a job, but he just wants to be closer to his parents than being closer to you?
I'm not sure. He does have a job there, which already works for a few months now, and I didn't know that. My daughter didn't tell me. They kind of kept me in the dark.
Okay. Well, you know why they kept you in the dark, don't you? Hilda, you know why they kept you in the dark, don't you?
No, I don't.
Because they knew you were going to react like this.
Yeah.
They knew that you'd be hurt. You'd feel bad. You'd think, okay, now not only do I not get to be a day-to-day part of my kids' and grandkids' lives, but they're just kind of saying, hey, Mom, thanks for everything. See you later.
Yeah.
Now, we got to look at this in a couple of ways. Well, we don't. Okay. You do. I don't. After you hang up, I mean, I'm wishing for the best for you, but I don't have to look at it like you do. One, you did a beautiful thing in all the service you gave them. What a wonderful grandma providing all of that for them. No doubt. I think that's wonderful. Okay? Beautiful. For you to feel like they're betraying you is in your own head. It's not reality. They're not saying, yeah, well, hey, heck with her. We're out of here. Now, unless, now, and I can't know this, unless, in fact, they figure, you know what, it's nice to have Mom here, but we need to be independent now. We need to kind of run our own lives, and she helped us with the babies. They're older now, so we can take it from here. That could be. That could be.
That's probably part of it, too, yes.
And so the part where you're most hurt is the part where you're saying, I can't believe they're doing this to me. Which really, my dear, you got to get rid of that one. That's just false thinking. On one hand, I can understand you being sad because this was such a central part of your life, and now you're going to say to yourself, well, I got to figure out some way to volunteer at the church. I've got to do things at the hospital. Maybe I can hold crack babies because I got to find some ways I can serve. I got this servant mindset, and I'm going to have to find some ways. That's good. Good, you'll branch out.
Well, I actually still work part-time. Okay. I was working part-time for 2 days, and 3 days I was taking care of them. From the beginning, I was working also on Saturday. I came Saturday.
Well, you got a lot more free time now. You got a lot more free time, my dear.
Sure.
But don't do that. Yep. Don't feel betrayed, because if you do, it's kind of going to sneak through in your interactions with them. You know, if they contact you from Ohio or anything like that, and they're going to sense that Mom is she's a little standoffish here. What's going on? You don't want to do that. You do fake it if you have to. You do not want to do that. What you do is you show them that you're so pleased that they've got a good job and the kids are growing up with them, and you're going to figure out ways to get there once a year as you fly there, et cetera, et cetera. That's what you're going to do, because if you don't do that, if you come across like, why are you doing this to me? Then they're gonna probably not contact you as much because they don't want to hear that. You stole my
That's
fan.
Exactly what's happening, Dr. A. How do you know?
See, you know what I do? I always predict that something could be happening because I know it's probably happening right now. But I don't want to go, well, you know what they're probably doing. So I go, well, they could be doing this. And then you say, yeah, they're already doing it. So, yes, that you know that, honey. So don't come across like the betrayed grandma. Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's exactly what I'm doing.
I know you are. I knew that. So you fake it. You come across like, hey, guys, I'm so glad for you. You got your lives together. You know, we can get each other on the computer. We can do FaceTime. It's all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what your financial situation is, but maybe you can get a cheap flight out there every so often for a few, 3-4 days and do that. Where in Ohio?
Cleveland area.
Oh, they're right by me.
Oh, I know you're there. Maybe I can come visit you when I'm
there. You go. Tell them to listen. We have an affiliate in Cleveland called The Rock, and then we have a closer affiliate here where I am called Living Bread Radio. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're-
Well, that's another part, but it's a long story, so I would have to talk to you a little
Right.
longer. They are not very much involved in
Okay.
faith and
I
and,
can see
kind
that.
of stuff. So.
All righty, my dear. You take good care, and
Okay.
thank you for being my fan.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ray. You're
Bye.
so smart. You know everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, tell my wife that. Thank you,
Okay, I
Hilda.
will.
Okay.
Thank
this
you.
Is this is Dr. Ray. Thanks for joining me.
Weingarts. Hi, I'm Dan Weingarts. When it comes to outdoor power equipment, you're never on your own. Since 1945, our customers and communities have trusted Weingarts for expert advice. That's why we stand behind John Deere Lawn and Garden Tractors, known for quality, durability, and equipment built to last. From equipment, parts, repairs, and at-home service, we're here every step of the way. Stop by our stores or visit us at Weingarts.com, where our experts can help you choose the right John Deere equipment for your lawn. Expert solutions, honest value, easy ownership. That's the Weingarts way.
What is the essence of the fourth commandment? In ordering us to honor our mother and our father, the Lord God has willed that after him we should revere our parents to whom we owe life and who have handed on to us the knowledge of God. The Catholic Catechism says the fourth commandment shows us the order of charity. It introduces the subsequent commandments concerned with special respect for life, marriage, earthly goods, and speech. It constitutes one of the foundations of the social doctrines of the Church. It is expressed specifically to children regarding their relationships to their parents because it is the most universal. But it also involves ties of kinship to the extended family and encompasses duties to elders, ancestors, pupils to teachers, employees to employers, citizens to their country, and to those who govern it. This is Peggy Stanton, and this has been the Order of Malta's Minute with the Catechism.
Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically own shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866 Ave Maria or visit AveMariaFunds.com.
Okay, got an announcement here coming from Deborah Rice, sweet, sweet lady at EWTN. One of our EWTN radio affiliates next week, Station of the Cross Network. That's a nice network, well run. A lot of stations, 18. They're throughout New York, Massachusetts, they're in Boston, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. They're having a week-long spring fund appeal starting Monday. So they need your support. And this is why I'm kind of involved in that. I will be on air with them as part of the appeal next week for 5 days, all 5 days, from 9 to noon. And then I will leave to go do this program, 9 to noon. So you will hear my mellifluous voice if, in fact, you are part of the Station of the Cross radio umbrella. You can hear them. So that's kind of neat. I've not really done too much of that. I've guested on a lot of the pledge drives, but I've never kind of been a host on a pledge drive. So Jimmy Wright and Zach Kazachik, all those folks. And they've also twice set up fabulous settings and audiences for the TV show, Living Right with Dr. Ray. Okay, what else? I got a couple comments I got to make here. It is part of fallen human nature. And it's particularly part of fallen human nature that is not shaped in a better direction by a religious sensibility, which is, if you do something for me and you continue to do it, positive, that is, I come to expect it. So Hilda was, for 3 years, very generous with her time and her support for her family. and the grandkids. Very. And I can't speak for them, but I got to wonder if, in fact, they came to expect it. And their appreciation, yes, initially it was great because Mom's doing all these things for us and she's making our life so much easier, and this is a godsend, But then, as it continued to happen, she wasn't so valuable. I can't say that for sure, but I will say this. Every speculation I offered Hilda, she said, that's right, that's exactly right. How do you know that? I've had that experience in my own life. I've had people that have, this is way back, for example, have done some things for my kids, and we paid them for their help and their services. And they asked for a certain amount, and we paid them over and above that amount. They were grateful. However, and this is an interesting phenomenon, however, when we needed the same service for another kid, and we were going to pay what their amount was, no bonus like we did with the first child, they got very upset. Very upset. Kind of reminds me of our Lord's parable of the workers. You get paid a fair daily wage. The landowner goes and gets the workers at noon and pays them the same wage, and then he goes at the end of the day and very short service, he pays them the same wage. Now, the people in the beginning said, wait a minute here. Jesus said, the landowner said, what? Wait, whoa. Am I not paying you a fair wage? Yes. Well, then, do I not have a right to do with my money what I wish? But you know what that taps into, and this is really sad. And it's used by politicians. It is so prevalent in our political landscape. Envy. I'm not getting what that guy's getting. Envy. You shouldn't have that. I don't have that. It's unfair that you have that. And when the politicians come along and say, I'll make it fair, don't worry, you're going to get yours. I'll make sure you get yours, even if I have to take it from them. I'll do that. Envy is the only deadly sin of the 7 deadly sins that there's no payoff. There is no payoff. You envy somebody, the torment's on you. If there's lust, well, at least the payoff is some kind of physical pleasure, however temporary and however self-destructive, but it's a payoff. Sloth, well, there's a certain amount of payoff for being lazy. You don't have to expend a whole lot of spiritual effort. But envy, that's the one thing. Our previous caller, we had the situation with the inheritance. And there was a certain amount of envy on her spouse's part. His view was, my sisters are already financially well off, so therefore I should get all of the inheritance because they don't need it. It's envy. I'm going to call it that. I imagine that he probably calls it fairness, equity. They've got enough already. They don't need our parents' safely, fairly built up, split 3 ways inheritance. Doesn't mean as much to them as it's going to mean to me. Now, there's got to be envy in this. Look at all that they have, and I need mine, and I should get more because they already have enough. Envy. It's an ugly, ugly thing. Ugly thing. And it's at the base of, I expect this. As I said, when we went back to the original cost for this particular service that this person was providing our kids, the first time around we gave her a significant bonus just because we were so grateful she was there. Well, then after that, because of our situation, we just paid for the service straight up, what she charged us. She got very upset to the point of quitting. How did that happen? Because her attitude was, wait a minute, I deserve this because I got it the first time around. Initially, she was grateful. But after we repeatedly gave her a bonus for each time she came, she expected it. It was her due. Thank you for joining me here on The Doctor Is In. I want to thank Andrew Kruchek, my producer man, Eric Dumont, my call screamer. Tomorrow we're going to dispense with Look Back Friday. We're going to go with Look At You Friday. Once again, we're going to have live call-in. So prepare your questions beforehand. We want to speak with you on that. Always, always privileged to be with you. Walk with God. Your infinite walk.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.